Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with AstrologyMojo. I want to help you get your mojo back and know the planets aren't doing anything to us. We are responsible for our energy, our choices, our responses, our reactions. It's all about us. I don't know if that's not really a good or bad thing, but we're going to briefly touch on, and welcome, come and say hello to me. And then I'll make this bigger so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. Um, that's me. Okay. That didn't work. So we're going to talk about Uranus entering the sign of Aquarius for the next 7 years, beginning on July 7th. Ish, depending on where you are in the world, could be the evening of the 6th. But anyway, when a planet, any planet, enters a new constellation, what we experience really, it is reflecting and symbolic of, representational of what we're doing. So there's a whole lot of transformation and transition happening now. Neptune in Aries back in March. It's going to retrograde back into Pisces, but then by February of 2026, Neptune in Aries goes full throttle into Aries for 14 years. Saturn in Aries for another 2 years. What else? Jupiter in Cancer for another year to the end of June 2026. And then there's good old Uranus. Well, of course, Pluto led the brigade, entering Aquarius for the next forever, 20 years. For some of us, it's forever. And then Uranus. Now, each planet represents a different aspect of our being. Imagine a party, and every planet is represented by a person and their flock, what they're about. Uranus is the rebel. It guides the sign of Aquarius. Uranus is the rebel. It is electric. It is eclectic. It is angry. It is rebellious. It is inventive. It's brilliant. It's creative. It's ingenious. Music, technology, science, astrology. And in the sign of Gemini, it's going to polarize in people. So we're already seeing it. Planets, when a planet enters a sign, it doesn't just start that moment. We build up to it, crescendo, and then it fades as the planet moves to the next constellation or enters retrograde phase. And on July 3rd, I'm going to talk specifically about how Uranus in Gemini affects each of the signs. So please come back July 3rd. And so right now, what are we experiencing? We're looking at, it's crazy here in the US. People are taking up arms. I have to shut my phone off. People are taking up arms. People are rebelling. People are acting like dictators. A Gemini energy can be full control, dictator, totalitarianism, or it can be more of the thoughtful spiritualist. Let me think about how I want to proceed now. Let's look at what other cultures, people, industries are doing. How can we collaborate and, bring some peace and productivity to the picture? So there's that happening too. Now, it's not just the United States. I mean, all over the world, people are changing. In the United States, it's just us, right? So we're like this big power. Not really. In Europe, it's a community. And when they get together and talk about what's going on in the Ukraine or with Russia, they're including everyone in the world. And now they don't see us as an ally. That's something. Isn't that interesting? So what we want to do when Uranus right before any planet enters a constellation, we feel the tumultuous. We feel like antsy. We feel, all right, I got to do something different. Something has to change. Or I'm so excited because I'm going to start a new course of study, or I'm going to start doing that when I never could. And now it comes down to, it's not about the thing. It's about the moment you feel the thing. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Because when you are ready to start a new job, end a relationship, increase finances, get into shape, stop eating sugar so much, eat more fruit instead of packaged products, whatever. When you're ready to do something that says, I want to better myself, I want to really create an intentional reality, and I'm ready. And my bangs are so long that they're in my face and tickling my eyes. ah, okay. Anyway, I was reading this book about this character who kept fussing with her bangs, and now I'm embodying her. I should have cut my bangs this morning. So, what is the thing that you can do right now to get clear on what the issues are? Have a healthy person you can talk to. Maybe that's a counselor. Maybe that's someone like me, a spiritual counselor, who uses transformational astrology. The planets are not doing it to you, my friend. If that were the case, game over. You're a victim. And I used to believe that. I used to think, oh boy, I can't buy something today because, Mars is doing something or Mercury is doing something. Everything's an influence, by the way. Everything is an influence. And that means the weather, what you ate yesterday, who you have a meeting with tomorrow, everything influences. But there's always a wave of motion with anything. If everybody were to stand perfectly still, picture this. If this is a Uranus radical thought. If everyone were to stand perfectly still, including animals, bugs, creatures, trees, flowers, everything that lives on this earth, and the earth is a living thing, if everything were to be completely still for 5 minutes, do you think you wouldn't have any thoughts? Do you think you wouldn't feel anything? Everyone would be emitting a frequency, and that frequency is something that moves right through you. So what you're feeling now, whenever you're watching this, whether it's live or, replay a year from now, whatever you're feeling is going to move out in to the universe. And then people start moving, and then the energy gets sped up, and it almost feels like, I don't have time. I don't have time to think about this, this, this. I'm just feeling too much. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I need something. I need a drink. I need an edible. I need a prescription. I need to stuff my face with chips. I need television. I need a video game. I need something to distract me from the stuff. Well, and let me just make this bigger. Oh, that didn't work. How about that? There it is. I want you to see what this looks like astrologically and how potent and powerful it is to find the moment that you go from happy to not happy, from present to not present. Okay? So let's take a look at this right now. Because there's always going to be something that you're going to say, oh, I was feeling so peaceful. Then suddenly, what? The phone rang. Your backyard fence collapsed, whatever. Okay, this is Uranus right here. And on July 7th, 2025 a.m. So that's why I say it could be on the 6th, July 6th, depending on where you are. This is for Sedona, Arizona. 0 degrees Gemini, 0 degrees. Now, it's going to make a positive creative aspect to Mercury, which is all about perceptions. And synapses that you form, the neurons that you create to create beliefs about what is in your reality in Leo. So that's a creative aspect. And you're going to have one of those. I, I just had an idea. Oh, you know what I could do? Oh, you know what just happened? Because you're also attracting energy to you by the energy that you're outputting, even when you're sleeping. Hey, I just got the most amazing phone call. Somebody heard about me and the work that I did on that other project, blah, blah, blah. Now they want to hire me. Oh my gosh. Creative angle, 72 degrees. It's called a quintile. And that's what that represents. And it can be a spiritual creative where you're focused on manifesting. And then what do? You go in. You don't go out to manifest, you go in. And then what happens is suddenly, oh, I was thinking about purple pens all day yesterday, and I just found one. That's hysterical. That's a simplified version of it. Okay, then Uranus in Gemini is going to be a sextile Saturn and Neptune. And they are going to be sextile Pluto. And a sextile is a positive aspect. It's a minor aspect in astrology, but it's positive and it gives that sense of possibility. It doesn't give it. That's what it represents. That's possibilities. It's like, oh, this can happen. I can do this. And then, of course, Uranus, that's the correct pronunciation. No matter what else you hear in the world, it's a Greek word and it means the cosmos. Urano, the heavens. Uranus. Uranus is trining 120 degrees, the best possible aspect in astrology. Pluto in Aquarius. And that trine isn't just for that day. I mean, this goes on for weeks. And so what are the possibilities that you could go to core Pluto with something radical for you? You know, I'm not going to wear black anymore. I'm just going to start wearing bright colors. That could be radical. I had a client who was like that and then got a lot of attention and then realized why they were wearing black in the first place to hide. Uranus guides Aquarius. So this is like two old friends coming together and saying, okay, I know we're a little outrageous. I know we're here to break up the reality that creates fear and have freedom and be humanitarian and really shake it up, not by the intention of creating anarchy, and that's the higher vibe because other people are going to go right for anarchy and see what they can get away with. But that's not you. It's going to be more, I really want to meditate more. I'm going to do Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm going to create a reality. I am going to heal my diabetes or my eye issues. I've heard so many testimonials. I've been to 2 Joe events. And before that, you know, I would study other people and work on it at home. And then years ago, it's like my head got turned and it was like, oh, Joe, I've known about him for years. He even came to Sedona. I didn't have a need to see him. But then suddenly my head went like that. And I thought, okay, my higher inner self is saying, go explore this now, the science of molecules and mysticism and how to work it like a pro. And testimonial after testimonial, people standing up going, I had an ear thing and the doctors couldn't do anything and they operated and then it got worse and then this happened and that happened and then boom, I'm here. This is my 2nd or 3rd Joe event and crackle, boom, I can hear. So people are having extraordinary experiences, not just with the Dr. Joe event, but in their own minds saying, oh my gosh, I really can do this. I don't need to be stuck into the parameter of what somebody is telling me is true. That's what this energy is. It's breaking apart somebody else's reality that they're trying to saran wrap you in and bubble wrap you in and saying, no, if you want to work here, you got to study these 3 things. And then you stay in that department for 3 years. And then maybe you'll get a raise or a promotion. We'll see how you do in your review and we'll take it from there. And you're like, no, that doesn't work for me. Maybe it did 10 years ago, but not now. But we're not judging it, are we? No, we are evaluating. Let me make this a little bigger so you can see me say that. We are evaluating what is freedom for us. What is truth for us in the moment? We are not judging others. And if somebody tries to step into your house, your energy field, and it is considered by you to be unhealthy, you say no and you draw the line. You have a voice. So we're going to see a lot of anarchy, but in positive ways, peaceful protests, writing to your senators and congresspeople. If you live in different countries, you look at what is it that you can do to change your way of thinking to stop creating and perpetuating the problem. Like the city never fixed the sewer properly and now it floods every time it rains. You're like, oh, that's the city. They don't do their job. And all the negative chatter, excuse me, around what is doesn't help heal it or change it. It doesn't. It perpetuates it. Why? Because everything is energy. So if you focus your energy on one thing and you have a belief about it, a perception about it, then, call it a day. You're done. But does it serve you? No. Can it be different? Yes. What did it trigger in you? What did it trigger in you? It may be when Uranus, which guides Aquarius, Uranus and Gemini trine, positive angle to Pluto in Aquarius. It's like the realization can come to you in such a bright, happy, or sudden, explosive in your mind way. Like, it's like you step into the street and somebody pulls you back and a bus goes by and you're like, that, yeah, in common terms, people would say, oh, my life flashed before my eyes, or, one more second. And then we focus on what could have happened, the trauma. I could have gotten killed. I could have broken a leg. That person saved my life. Oh my gosh, I almost died. But now, what's the flip side of that? Let's be innovative. That's what Uranus represents, especially with Pluto trining Pluto in Aquarius. It represents, what's the flip side of that? How about, that was a miracle. I was protected. I'm safe. And if I'm safe in that situation, where else am I safe that I'm not thinking about, where I grumble and complain? Oh, I can't believe they went on vacation and they dumped that crap on my desk. Now I have to do it. Okay, let's stop with the negative fixation on something that you think is out of your control and flip it. When you flip that thinking to neutral, you don't have to go to happy place. I think it was Esther Hicks and her collective Abraham, a collective of consciousness energies come together and said, when you're trying to change your feelings, it doesn't just happen like, oh, I'm so, I'm ready to protest, to, oh, wait, I'm having such a beautiful day. It doesn't, we don't switch like that. We're in a biological makeup here. We have circuitry that says, I'm going to fight to the death to defend my limitations. Okay. Go for that. Let me know how it works out at the end of your life. And so Esther Hicks's collaborative union with Abraham, when she channels, says it's like, let's say you're in a car that's on fire and it's going downhill, and that represents your emotions. You can't just step on the brakes and go, wow, what a beautiful day I'm having. You have to find neutral territory eventually. And this is science now. It takes 16 to 20 seconds for your thoughts, and this is brain technology, for your thoughts to let go of the thing you're focused on. 16 to 20 seconds. So, okay, just don't fuel the fire with talking about the thing that's not working, If you just let it ride for 16 to 20 seconds, you would have a realization, oh, okay, I feel a little more neutral now. But you know what they did? Oh, you just started a new cycle. Now you got to wait another 16 to 20 seconds. And you know how many people do this? We do it all the time. And how many people get out of it? Well, they don't. Some people who are in their 70s, 50s, 60s, 80s, 20s, whatever, they talk about what happened when they were 5. And they don't stop talking about it. We're just going to repeat the same if we don't change our mind. And a simple way to do that is when I look at this and I say, okay, that's what Uranus and Pluto, it's like, we want freedom. We want to help others attain a momentum that has this, at its core, equality, innovation. It comes through a little bit of rebellious thinking. Like when I was younger and I would say, I see things and people are like, yeah, no, you heard it somewhere. You just forgot. And now, you think you're psychic. Other people will fling, hurl, and aim their trajectory of limitation right onto you, and you go, "Oh yeah," and then you start second guessing yourself. Yeah, maybe they're right. You know what's right? There's no right or wrong. There's the moment. Be in the moment. That's the present moment where you decide, how am I going to feel, which creates a vibration. And then that vibration gets perpetuated out into the world and propelled. And then if it's neutral to positive, you're opening. If it's neutral to negative, you're closing. So it's up to you to decide, do I choose to be neutral to positive in this moment where they are saying or doing something that does not serve me? I can just evaluate it and say, oh, look, that's happening. That would be the equivalent of Uranus in Gemini sextiling Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and quintiling Mercury in Leo, for the astrology enthusiasts who want to understand that. And that is, okay, I can jump to a conclusion without all the facts. Really? How different is that from if you have a reaction to what somebody says, does, doesn't do, doesn't say, it is triggering something deeper within you. Fear, a lack of something, trust. It's like, oh, wow, that happened to me. Someone was helping me with something. And then they said, oh, let me know how it goes. And then we could take it from there. And I let them know. And then a week went by and I didn't hear back. And then I thought, what the bleep? What? I just felt abandoned. And it was like, it's like I tumbled, and it wasn't a major thing. And I was like, wait a minute. And all the stuff around it. And I stopped and went, okay, I am feeling something that I felt before I knew that person. So it's not about that person. They might have pushed a button, but they did not install that button. I did. So I went back in time and went, oh yeah, the little me. It took me about an hour to get there, but it's like that little me who was abandoned emotionally. Okay. It's okay. I'm going to parent myself right now and say, thank you. It's me now. I got this. And I'm going to pay attention to that 16 to 20 seconds. And what am I putting? And if I'm washing dishes or I'm doing something and suddenly, my mind spins off into, and they didn't, and I remember that thing 6 years ago and they didn't call me back then. And I was like, whoa. And I ask myself, I catch it so quickly now. Used to take months, years. And now I ask myself, is that what I really want to be thinking? Thinking. Mercury, thinking. Gemini, thinking. Mercury guides Gemini. Mercury guides Gemini. What am I thinking? Leo, big feelings. Uranus, rebelliousness, science, technology, higher finances, vibrational, I want to say revolution, but in the re-evolution sense, not like we are witnessing revolution right now. But it doesn't have to look like war. For the people who are wanting to maintain their power, that is Pluto is power, and also fear, but also empowerment. So we have to raise that vibration and say, I don't agree. Let's do it a different way. And to be articulate, not a raving lunatic. So when we have this going on, and again, please come back July 3rd. I am going to talk about Uranus in Gemini for each of the signs. sun, rising, and moon signs and what it looks like in your general charts. But for now, just a basic overview that we are entering another period of time. Neptune, when it's going to retreat and retrograde back into Pisces for a few months, but when it goes back into Aries again in February of 2026, it's going to be there for 14 years. So let's not jump to conclusions. Like when you're in the middle of a meditation going, oh, everything's so peaceful. You're planting beautiful flowers and you're saying, I'm so grateful. And then, you get a letter from the phone company or something that, oh, you missed a payment. You're like, what? I made that payment. It's like, whoa, wow, that was a reaction. How about we respond and say, oh, maybe they never got the payment. Maybe it's a computer error. Evaluate instead. We're not going to judge. We're going to evaluate. You want to raise your level of vibration and be a beacon in the world of hope for at least one other person. And according to Dr. David Hawkins, you help one person, you help 90,000 people. Because why? We are energy and it's a wave. The particle is the thought. The wave is the quantum energy. We are pure conscious love. We are extensions of light in these biological things we call bodies, and we're learning how to merge the two. So let's just take a breath and think about something else that excites you, that gives you that sense of hope and fulfillment. And, oh my gosh, I wanted to learn, whatever. I play the piano, how to cook with bananas. I don't know. It's like whatever you want to learn, have it be exciting for you. Now, sometimes people go, oh, yeah, it's easy for you because, you live in a house and you have a living and blah. I have to work 2 jobs. And I used to live in a trailer without heat. I slept on a borrowed mattress. Bugs crawled across my legs. I'm not kidding. That's not an exaggeration. It's like, okay, at the time I thought, I was raised in poverty consciousness by good people. They did their best. But, what did I know? My dad didn't know how to use a checkbook. And so I figured I got to do something different. I remember that day I was cat sitting and I thought I have to do something different or this is going to be the rest of my life. And I want out. I don't want to live like this. Day to day, wondering what the heck's going to happen to me. I didn't feel safe. I felt like somebody dropped me in the middle of the ocean without anything. And I was flailing. So then that's when I realized, and I was in my 20s, that's when I realized I have to think my way into feeling safe. And then when I feel safe, I'm going to have different thoughts. Like the light bulb went off. Okay. So that's the preliminary. So the very next moment you feel like somebody just shoved you, you want to stop and take a deep breath and evaluate it instead of judge it and say, or abandoned you or left you hanging or whatever. It's not about them. You have an opportunity to look in the mirror right now, literally walk up to that mirror and say, hi, I feel like I'm a stranger. I have all these jumbled up feelings. Ugh, let's work it out together. I love you. I love you. I love you. When's the last time you looked in the mirror and said to yourself, I really love you? And then you're going to get all this pushback on the inside. You're going to go, oh, no, I don't. It's like the fight. So whatever is going on in here is going to come to you and look like what's going on in here. So when beautiful things come your way, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I really am grateful. I'm being validated. When cockadoodles come your way, it's like, all right, what part of me did not set a boundary? What part of me acted rashly? What part of me overstepped their boundary? What part of me needs to just take a breath and reset my energy? You're the magnet for everything. All right, folks. So that's where we're going to go right now. And we will be back on, oopsie, wait a minute. We'll be back on, let's see, what is it? Next week, next Thursday, we're going to do July oracle reading. So please come back and pick your image or images so that you can see and divine for yourself, using your own intuition, what July can look like for you. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Sending you so much love. And just remember, stay present. You are in control of your own reality.